Hi, I'm Paula Martinez from Martinez Paranormal Group. We're here with 3 special guests, the stars of the Haunted Wolfe Manor live show. I'd like to welcome Scott, Todd, and Terry. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Man, it's been a crazy 3 seasons, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, so before we start, you know, a lot of viewers want to know how you guys got started in the paranormal field. I know, Todd, you bought the mansion about 12 years ago, and you started experiencing all this crazy stuff going on. But I really want to know individually, how did you guys actually get into the paranormal?
When I was, a teenager, or just before I was a teenager, I actually lived in a house that had activity in it, and I actually witnessed a apparition walk down the hallway of the house I was living in. I watched a toaster oven move by itself, and I was hooked. And I've always been interested in it, and I've always been into it ever since.
And for me, I didn't believe in spirits, ghosts, anything like that whatsoever. So I thought this was all a big joke, paranormal world. I always thought they were just long, boring ghost stories, as I always say to people, until I started having experiences myself. And when I bought that mansion, I didn't buy it for the reason that it was haunted. It wasn't even an option to me. It was just a cool building, and that was for a Halloween attraction. But then I started having experiences that, again, I didn't tell anyone because I was embarrassed, because I didn't want to try to convince other people that I was having bizarre things happen to me, because they sounded like long, boring ghost stories. But it wasn't until other employees that worked for me for the Halloween attraction had experiences, came up to me and said, Todd, I can't work here because the door's shutting, because I was touched, because I was pulled into a closet. That's what made me realize it wasn't just me having experiences. And then when people would start bringing cameras in and taking bizarre pictures of things that I couldn't explain. So I kind of gotten thrown into the paranormal world without really searching for it. I can almost say it came to me.
Really close to the same thing with me. I came in as a skeptic. My wife watched all these television shows. Check this out, and I was the guy saying, "Oh no, that's this. There's strings attached. They can't be real. Of course, it's just Hollywood." And so I met Todd. Todd said, "Well, why don't you just come in on an investigation one night?"
Mm-hmm. And a ghost tour.
Yeah, a ghost tour is what it was.
Tour.
Something happened to me that night, and I've been there almost every day since.
Yeah, it's like we can't get rid of Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just called me and said, hey, I was calling about the ghost tours, and I'm like, okay. And he goes, well, it's just going to be myself. I'm like, well, join another group. I didn't think he would show up. And I knew his voice, so here's this guy in the crowd, and I'm like, that's the guy I talked to on the phone today.
Yeah.
He showed up by himself. And he's like, it's me. And he had like all of his Ghostbuster outfit on and all this stuff. And I'm like, you are a weirdo, you know. And
right.
Todd, how did you come to meet Terry?
How I met Terry was he came through during a tour, and with a group, and then from there I believe you brought in like an investigation group to come in on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was actually first time I went to the hospital when it was still there, and you were giving the tours,
Okay.
and there weren't that many tours going through.
Right.
So once in a great while, but fell in love with the place.
Wow. And you know, a lot of the viewers, including myself, you guys' chemistry just mixes really well. Like, you guys have known each other for years, and it's almost like you're watching 3 brothers, you know, in the camera, and it's amazing how much there's chemistry between you guys. And you know, Scott, you actually had a very terrifying moment at the house, actually, and where you were down in the crawl space. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was during season 1. I was in the basement in the crawl space, and a few viewers know that my mom had passed away, and should have taken a little time off, and I didn't. Maybe it left me up to be a little bit vulnerable, but I was in the crawl space, and I went to get out of the crawl space, and something had grabbed my ankles. Well, it startled me, something from inside the crawl space, that I came out onto the chair and got my head trapped in the chair and almost choked out, fell down, hurt myself. Woke up, not woke up, but stood up, F Todd, F this house, everybody, ran past Terry, ran past our guests. I wasn't going back in that house, you know. It was terrifying. It was very, very scary what happened that day. Of course, I did come back, and I was able to deal with it later on in another season, another show.
Wow. And I know, Terry, you mentioned before that you actually seen a full body apparition at the house. And can you explain to the viewers how how rare that is to actually see a full body apparitions. I know you've been to the house many, many times.
I've been in the house easily a few hundred times since I met Todd and started doing work over there. And yeah, I've seen a full-bodied apparition once and a partial apparition on another occasion. When we used to do tours at the house, occasionally groups would come in and want to know if they were going to see a full-blown apparition. And my answer was usually, you know, if you're lucky, we will. But you have to impress on people that seeing a full-bodied apparition is the Hail Mary to paranormal investigators. It's not like the movies and it's not like TV. We pay attention to the small details, the small bump in the dark details. When you see one, it's really a treat for a paranormal investigator. I was lucky enough that I saw the full-bodied gentleman in the kitchen, and I had eyewitnesses with me. And so there were actually 8 other people too, and they went, whoa, you know. And to explain to them, you're going to go the rest of your life possibly, I'd never see that again. The same goes for disembodied voices.
Right.
Disembodied voices are actually very rare, and we get them all the time at the Manor. I'll never forget it. I had a group of people standing in the breezeway between the kitchen and the basement, and we were standing there, and we all heard a woman singing right between us, and they were like tripping out. But it took a few minutes to explain to them that you just witnessed one of the rarest phenomena on the face of the earth. You know, you're probably not going to run into that again anytime soon. So it's people got to remember it's not like the movies, it's not like TV. But when it does happen, man, what a rush! It's awesome. Yep.
Now, I know, Todd, everyone knows the answer to this question, but you know, what was the scariest moment for you being in the house? And I know all of us and all the viewers have seen probably the most intense moment of your life, and then I know all the seasons combined. And I just want to know what was kind of your reaction to that and actually, you know, experiencing it.
It was amazing because in the beginning, you know, it was kind of mellow, it was kind of nerve-wracking, laying in there by myself. And I always say this to the viewers, they don't realize how we're in the pitch black in there. And when we watch the show, it's like, it looks so bright, but sitting in the dark, and it's like in my head, I know I went back in time thinking of all the curtains that were around the beds, you know, and that room was filled with patients. And so I kept thinking of that when I was in there and asking for the patients to come forward, or Emily, and it's just an amazing feeling. And then to have something happen when I was in there, knowing that Terry and Scott were so far away on the other side of the property, made it even more intense. Dropped my radio. Now I feel like I'm helpless. No one can help me. No one, you know, I didn't even know if they could hear me screaming. Come to find out they could, thank God, because I was screaming pretty loud, I know that. Yeah, that was a moment that I wouldn't want to relive again. I even had a hard time going in there, you know, the next couple weeks after that filming. I just kind of stay away from that room, and it's going to be amazing too when the hotel's open that people are going to actually be spending the night in that room. So it's pretty intense.
And Scott, what was your reaction to what happened to Todd?
We like to tell people that are viewing our show that we are, you know, we've been in this house a lot, and there's some of the things that we do on the show are not recommended for people to do in haunted locations or any location. Like, one is leaving a person alone. 2 is not giving any sort of communication. Have a good plan set in place for your person. It would be like sending someone in a cave without a rope tied to them, you know. So it was really emotional to me because I didn't want to do it in the first place. I mean, I was on board with it, but we should have had a monitor with us. I mean, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hindsight's 20/20. There's a lot of different things. So it was really emotional for me because I have never seen tears come out of one of my best friend's eyes, and he's strapped down, and you just don't know how to act. You know, it's just weird. And when I watch that thing, it's like it pains me because it seems like it's like an hour long.
Oh my God. From
the minute we walked in the room. It's like, why didn't you put down the camera? Why didn't you help him do this? And then for the next 2 weeks following that, we kept talking to Todd every day. We were talking to him every day, but not a lot of communication. A lot of people were really concerned with him. He got lots of emails and stuff.
Phone calls.
Phone calls.
Oh.
And that was beautiful, but you could tell it really affected him.
Yeah.
I even had people from Europe calling me,
Yeah.
checking in on me.
A call from Texas, Maine. Then the funny thing is, we're there so often working on the show, or just actually we do investigations without doing the show too. That sometimes we take for granted the things that we do, and people's reactions to things that happen to us in there. Sometimes we lose focus how significant that is.
A lot of people were angry as well.
Oh.
Not as much as Todd, but even Todd. But it was a bad decision. It was a really bad decision on our part. We've done it again with Sid Schultz. I think we did another one similar to that, but we had a monitor. It was just.
And no one expected me to drop that. I didn't know I was going to drop that radio.
You dropped the radio, so it was.
That even scared me
We
more.
could hear them. We were 500 feet from the house.
You were
whatever.
far away.
We heard it. And,
Right. Well, the property's an acre and a quarter, and you guys went to the far back side.
All the way back past the tree there. So we can hear them.
And again, it was actually his idea to do that experiment.
Just thought of the idea. I didn't know it was going to be me doing it though, and they're like, "You should do it."
Yeah, absolutely.
Great idea.
The three of us. I mean, honestly, you get the most freaked out when something occurs. And for him, when he came up with that idea, he called us, and we came over here and met him and said, "Guys, I've got this idea." And seriously, all the way up to the point where we actually did it, it was, "Are you sure about this? You're out of your mind."
But the first idea was someone should be strapped down.
Yeah, and now what that saying we have a great idea for a show. We all step back a minute and go, wait a minute, what are the ways out? What is your protection? Like what kind of protection do you use? Do you sage? Do you use holy water? Any kind of protection helps on an paranormal business. I don't care what your faith is. If you've got some sort of faith or some sort of protection, use it before you go into any investigation. Be safe. Don't go in haunted house. I mean, don't go into abandoned houses. Just have good decisions in doing this. So what you may see on our show may seem like not such good decisions. A lot of it's planned out, and sometimes things go awry. It's live TV.
Yeah,
live TV.
We think we know where the fire escapes are.
That's what it really is.
But on the flip side of it is, I like the fact we have the only unique show that pushes things to the limit.
Absolutely.
And it's like we're all wondering what's out there, what's beyond after we pass, and that's what we're all searching for.
We're a cast of thousands. Our viewers are the most awesome investigators that I've ever been in contact with. The still frames they send, the EVPs.
Yeah.
We shoot the show. We don't get to enjoy it until the next day when we watch it on replay.
Right.
They've already built up DVDs and emails and stuff with all this wonderful evidence. God bless them.
If I go on YouTube and all of a sudden there's our show in sections.
Yeah. There's a shadow here, a thing here, that EVP, and we just don't.
I don't even know what's out there.
So that's kind of awesome. It's a really neat dynamic.
That cast of thousands, we learn from when we had guest investigators. We learn new things all the time, and we learn things from our viewers. They come up with the darndest theories and suggestions, and it's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
We pretty much take all their suggestions.
Yep.
Anything.
And so, what would you guys? I want to ask you guys individually. What would be the most memorable moment of these past seasons? How about you, Ty?
Oh God, I gotta think. There's so many. Most memorable during a show. Personally, just the episode of Top of the Stairs for me, where we had again one of us going to go upstairs alone. I got nominated to go up there, and there was this creaking sound first, and I kept hearing things around me.
Oh, I've got a minute. I've got a minute right now. Yeah, I'm coming on down. What was that? Okay, Terry's out of here. Terry's going down the stairs. Whoa! Terry's really going down the stairs fast now. Yeah, dude.
What? What happened, Terry?
There's some heavy-duty stuff going on up there.
We heard a screech or something.
That was me.
That was you screeching? Terry, you all right?
Yeah, I'm
You're
just
flushed.
I'm wigging out.
I was getting ready to go downstairs, and I full on got touched like a shove, and I'll never forget that. That was the closest I've come to being attacked. It was not a friendly thing. That's the most memorable moment.
The most memorable moment for me on the show was when I was holding the camera. You guys have no idea what I'm going to say either.
No.
We were on the 4th floor, and these two yo-yos decide to start dancing. I'm like, they are not dancing. And Terry's like, oh, turn the music up. And the music gets turned on and I'm filming and I'm like, oh, they're not doing this. They're out there dancing.
No, it's okay. You'll like us. Okay, ready? Come on. Right here. No, it's not good. Ready? Use your hand. Ready? Okay.
Oh my God! I cannot believe you guys are doing this. Okay, so people just tuning into our show.
It was a good night.
Oh my God.
Scott's a hell of a dancer too.
That was amazing. So that wasn't a scary moment, that's a memorable moment that I just kept shaking my head as I was filming. I'm like, this is not happening.
Absolutely good one.
Yeah.
We have equipment failure is probably the most awesome stuff that happened. Not at the time, but when you look back, equipment failure, it happens a lot on the show. Things fall over, laptops stop working, and our viewers are very patient. But then when the people have a little private agenda, Todd was taking a shower. He was in the shower. We were coming to shoot the show where we were going to give him a towel. He was going to step out of the shower, you know, in some bathing shoots. We're going to shoot him from the waist up. And we're going to give him a towel, and he's going to come out and talk to Terry. Todd steps out of the shower, no clothes on. Totally not. The cameraman's like this.
You'd never seen anything like that
He's like,
before.
yeah, and I go, Mr. Towel, Mr. Wolfe, or whatever it is, and and Terry's waiting with this girl in the other room that was on the show. And so he puts his towel on and he walks in the other room, and from the back he just opens it up, and Terry's like, oh God, not now, you know. But yeah, really good stuff. And a lot of it, there's some scary stuff too, but equipment failures and funny stuff like that is just, that's what makes this life that we have. I mean, there's stuff that we will never forget when we're in a nursing home sometime, or way off in the future, sitting here fishing, going, remember that time? Yeah.
You know what else was another really cool moment though, and it looked great on the show, was our campfire scene.
That was good.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was neat.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, we made a bonfire out in the back of the property, and
Where did we get the wood? Is it
In the house, I think.
No, I brought it.
You brought your wood? Okay.
That was a good night.
Who went in the house by
I
themselves?
went first and
You went first.
tried to do the thing that my mom had done.
That's
I mean,
right.
to try to beat that fear.
Mhm.
And I did the holy
Crawl space thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun doing that show up there. We'd never done that before.
That was neat.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing, all the guests, and not to sound, I mean, that's the big memory of all the people we met from literally all over the world. People come to see us, and that's the neatest thing. And it almost sounds insulting, but I'll tell you what, I have a heck of a time remembering everybody. You know, I remember most everybody, but I mean, there have been so many people.
I have no
met,
favorite. It
and
really isn't.
No.
There's no favorite. No, they're all
They all came bringing something
truly-
different, and it was one of the wonderful things that this show inadvertently had. It was at first it was, you know, let's do a live investigation show, right? What we didn't realize it would turn into was, as you see the other shows, I'm not going to mention any names, but they go to these different locations all over the country or the planet, and we did just the reverse. Everybody came to us, and so we got to get all this experience and all these cool experiences by different people, I mean, all different calibers too. Groups that had just started, people casually interested in the paranormal, all the way to large television production, ghost hunters, you know, celebrity ghost hunters come in. So the whole spectrum we got to see just about all of it. It was awesome.
And never had a sour one in the bunch. You know, they all really had a good time.
They all walked out.
It's been an honor.
Yes.
For the last 2.5 to 3 years of my life to be involved in this project. It's something that I never would have expected, going into a house to prove it's not haunted. And where are we now? Yeah. Absolutely.
Still can't get rid of you.
Yeah.
It's like a fungus.
Feel like a fungus.
So that leads me to my
Little
next
fun guy.
question.
Yeah.
Is what's your most embarrassing moment on the show?
Jerry.
Start at that end, though.
Yeah.
I used to get embarrassed because of the when we passed gas or we burp or we'd swear, and soon the viewers kind of became used to it. You know, it's like
That turned into a competition.
within 15 minutes he's going to break wind. You know, but that was just By the wayside, I think probably my speech impediment, you know, or whatever, my stuttering. I always thought that was kind of, and the facial hair. When I look at some of that stuff, the beard and mustache stuff I went through, it was like, so as far as embarrassing, I don't know. I've had so much fun on it.
Yeah.
I know what yours is.
No,
I'm kidding. We'll see.
Well, you know, it was actually that one final scene where I was crying, so that was being very vulnerable. But when you go back and watch it, sometimes it's kind of embarrassing that I was actually crying. Even though it was all real and stuff, it still is kind of embarrassing. People are like, you were crying, and you know what I mean? So I guess that was kind of embarrassing, but I don't know why. So I don't really have... I mean, it's funny, people think that I'm digging on this when I'm in there. That's why I always look at the camera and go, why am I doing this? Let's go chase something that's after us. It's crazy. But we do it and we have fun. But sometimes I catch myself going down the basement by myself going, why am I going in the basement by myself? This makes no sense. But then I do it. So.
During the course of the show, you know, as the show developed, Todd developed a hobby, scaring the hell out of me.
Oh yeah, I've got you guys pretty good.
The worst one, I was embarrassed to death, but it was hilarious. As like Todd was saying earlier, it's pitch black in there most of the time. You know, we'll have a flashlight on occasionally, and he would sneak up behind me. And there was one episode, he got right behind my head, and I'm standing there. I can't. What were we doing? Was it doing EVP or deciding where we were going to go? And when you look back at the footage, you can see him behind me going.
What did you do that for?
I wanted to scare Terry. Sorry.
You suck, dude. You freaking suck.
Sorry. I had to. It was too intense. Dude, that was cool.
We are never, ever going to find a ghost. Ever.
It's called scare revulsion.
You know, we probably had like we probably had a ghost choir the size of the Mormon Tabernacle choir singing, and we're never going to hear it because he's screaming at the top of his voice.
Sorry.
Hey, I got candy with us tonight too.
Did that scare you, Scott?
No, not at all.
He's ready to stand right behind me, and he screams like a 12-year-old girl. "Ah!" And I must have jumped 3 feet in the air, and it scared me to death, and I soiled myself. And that would qualify as most embarrassing moment. This
So it was
3-year-old
great.
girl.
I've got you guys a few times.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a straight one.
Yeah, because it's all like intense and quiet, and nobody's expecting someone to scream.
Turned into turned into a
It is
full
weird.
comedy for him.
In different parts of the room, I mean, different parts of the house, it's more intense than others. So.
Wait, I thought of one of the best moments I think all three of us have ever had together. You guys are going to laugh as soon as I tell you. I'm going to give you a clue.
No, the elevator.
The elevator.
What's the elevator? Explain the elevator.
Oh my God, I don't know how we came up with the
You
elevator.
had that stupid music thing in your hand.
And that's right, we're like, it sounds like an elevator.
A friend of ours had brought, just so you know what it is, a little toy, like keyboard, guitar thing where you press the buttons and it makes different notes. And he was just playing with it in the background. And he hit one note, and it sounded like the sound an elevator makes when you get to the floor.
Yeah. What floor are you going to?
I'm going to the third.
Oh, me too.
These elevators take forever.
I know, God.
It's funny, nobody even knows there's an elevator in the Wolfe
I know,
Manor.
not great.
I know.
Yeah, I don't like telling anybody.
I know.
Almost there.
Okay. Okay. Are we here?
I think so.
Hit the button. Let's go.
So we came up with this fun idea. Let's pretend like there's an elevator in the Wolfe Manor, and Terry and we have it all
I
on
think I
tape.
laughed that
But
hard.
oh my God, I don't know how many
hard.
takes.
Oh, 30, 40 takes.
Because we were laughing so hard, trying to be serious, where we go into this closet, we bing, and Terry and I had to look up at the, try to figure out how to reenact actually going into an elevator.
It's so funny.
And we use that closet
You do it all the
upstairs.
time.
Yeah,
So
so
when
we
you
go
act like
small
you're
closet.
doing it, it's
Yeah, we walked in the small closet, and we were standing there, and he has that little sound maker in his hand, and presses a button, and Scott's facing us outside, and he and I look up, and what do you do in the elevator? It starts moving, so we both start doing it. And every time we start, Scott would just lose it. It
Yeah.
took about 10 takes
Yeah,
to do
it was
and
tough.
we had some people actually chatting saying, I didn't know they had an elevator at Wolfe Manor.
Yeah.
You've ridden the
It looked
elevator.
like one.
Your group has ridden
I
the
have
elevator.
we actually
My
have
sister
ridden
rode the elevator. A few people have.
Yeah.
What do you guys do for a living?
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead, Terry. Tell them what
I do outside sales. I do security systems, fire systems, and camera system, safe design and sales. Keep people safe. I'm a amateur musician too. I play with I'm not in the group this season, but I play with Fresno Community Concert Band, and I'll be starting up again in September. That's pretty much what I do.
I do property management. I own apartment complexes and rental homes, and I do property development, which will now be the new Wolfe Manor Hotel.
heavy equipment operator, and I own a pet store.
I don't know what to do. Let's go Poodle Town.
I install fire alarms in schools and such.
You install firearms?
Yeah, firearms in schools. Yeah. No, I'm a fire alarm installer. It's intriguing work.
Intriguing.
Yeah, ironically, we're both kind of in the same industry.
A lot of us are. A lot of people in the paranormal more into it.
So
Security
you
cameras.
basically lay pipe.
I lay pipe when I can. If I can't find pipe, I'll get whatever. Trenches is what you have to.
We're turning around trends when you have to.
Okay. I'm an author. No. I do voiceovers for the Simpsons. I install fire alarms. That's what I do.
And so how has the show changed your guys' relationship as far as, you know, being friends or just acquaintances and then becoming these really
Best friends that I
best
ran.
friends?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what's funny is, like, you know, the show is a predominant factor in all our lives, but it's funny, we'll sit and we'll have conversations like during the day or during the week, whatever, about things that are totally away from ghosts, haunting, whatever, and sometimes it feels good. It's like, so what'd you do today? Oh, I went to the doctor's office and just talked about normal, everyday, mundane stuff, and that's kind of nice to break away from.
We always talk about ghosts.
I know, we always do.
We don't talk about
Yeah. No, what's fun too is that sometimes one of us will just get a bizarre, crazy idea about the show, like just a thought, like we can do. Yeah. Sometimes I lay awake, I can't, think at nighttime. That's all I can do is think about it, just a scene, a look, or something for the show. So then I call them up and I'm like, you got to go with that moment. And sometimes I can pull them in that moment and you see it.
Most of the time we get that call late at night, it's like, oh gosh, what's up? Get a pen and paper, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get my glasses on. It's usually something really outrageous, and we've been able to pull it off pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much any idea or any person we wanted to get on the show or
Yes.
anything, we've been able to do it. The Wolfe Manor live, the haunted Wolfe Manor is as an entity is loved by so many people, and we don't do the drama of the other groups, and there's a lot of stuff goes on out there with people and stuff. And we just kind of like the Switzerland of all that. So
For the what?
the Switzerland.
What's that?
Neutral.
Yeah, we're neutral.
Where do you guys see the show going from here?
Actually, within a few years, when the project is done, Todd's project, hotel project, this show will move in another direction because the landscaping's changed, the scenery is changing for the show. There's nothing we can do about it.
But the show will continue.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to morph again. It's morphed.
We have
Yeah.
ideas, 24-hour cams. There's some things going on out there we can't really talk about. We've got lots of conferences, and then you've got
Yeah, we've already
booked.
scheduled conferences and stuff for the hotel. But for the show, getting back to your question, that right at this particular moment, I'm talking with a major network on picking up a show that is kind of an offspring of what we're doing, and that is the making of a haunted hotel. So if that happens, then there'll probably be cast members if they're nice. Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's weird because we try to keep it a good PG rating on our show. We really do. The beeper. We have the beeper, the shusher, and the clomper. And the
Clomper,
clomper,
shusher,
beeper, and that's. I mean, you just can't write that stuff. It just comes naturally.
Yeah.
Beeper.
So if we end up getting the television show, The Making of a Haunted Hotel,
When?
the show will continue on. These guys will be cast members on the show as our investigators for the Wolfe Manor. If we don't get a major network, we will just continue filming like we are. So we would continue doing that as well as the hotel is being built, we will still be doing investigations in the hotel, the new wing, the mansion itself, while the construction's going on. So which it should be very active.
We're looking forward to that.
Yeah. So either way, we're going to be in there filming during the entire run of the construction. And then once the hotel's open, the cameras will be live for the grand opening of the hotel, because a lot of our viewers are already requesting rooms for the opening night, but we're limited. So it's going to be a star-studded event. We already have celebrities wanting to come and stay at the hotel for our grand opening. And so it's going to be a pretty big deal.
That sounds very exciting, guys.
Yeah.
And before we go, I just want to say thank you guys for coming by. Is there anyone you guys want to give a shout out to?
My wife Linda and my kids, they've been supportive of all this. Every Saturday night for the last couple of years, staying up all night, doing an investigation with these two guys. Yeah, my kids have been, definitely supported my family, definitely.
Basically, I just want to thank my son, because he's always missing his daddy on Saturday nights. But I really want to thank our viewers for supporting our show. It's incredible. We appreciate the emails, the MySpace, the Facebook. It's our viewers that keep our show going.
I'd like to like Todd said, all the viewers, absolutely, and all the wonderful, wonderful guests that we've had on our show.
Yes.
We've had some amazing, amazing experiences with people who've on the show.
Fantastic.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks again for sitting down with us and talking. And, stay tuned for the next season. I'm sure it's going to be a very exciting one, and I'm sure everyone is completely excited to see it. So, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
cut.